Welcome to our exploration of the top 8 unsolved murder cases, where mystery, intrigue, and chilling details keep these stories alive even decades later. These cases have baffled investigators and captivated the public, leaving behind questions that remain unanswered. From infamous serial killers to mysterious disappearances, each case reveals a dark and perplexing chapter in criminal history. Number 1. Jack the Ripper, 1888. Jack the Ripper was a mysterious serial killer who terrorized the Whitechapel district of London in 1888. The killer is believed to have murdered at least 5 women, all of whom were prostitutes, and these victims are known as the canonical 5. The murders were brutal, involving severe mutilations, leading some to think the killer had knowledge of anatomy. The name, Jack the Ripper, came from a letter sent to the media, though many believe it was a hoax. Despite extensive investigations, the killer's identity remains unknown, making it one of the most famous unsolved mysteries in history. The case has fascinated people for years, leading to many theories and its lasting place in popular culture. Number 2. The Zodiac Killer, 1960s to 1970s. The Zodiac Killer is a notorious serial killer who operated in Northern California during the late 1960s, linked to at least 5 murders between 1968 and 1969, with 2 additional victims surviving. The killer gained infamy for sending cryptic letters and ciphers to local newspapers, taunting law enforcement and claiming responsibility for up to 37 murders. Despite extensive investigations and numerous suspects, including Arthur Lee Allen, the case remains unsolved. In 2021, a group of cold case investigators suggested that Gary Francis Post, a deceased Air Force veteran, was the Zodiac Killer, but this claim has not been verified by law enforcement. The last confirmed murder attributed to the Zodiac was that of taxi driver Paul Stine in October 1969. The enduring mystery of the Zodiac Killer continues to captivate the public and inspire books, films, and ongoing investigations. Number 3. Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman, 1994. The double murder of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman on June 12, 1994, remains one of the most infamous unsolved cases in American history. Nicole, the ex-wife of football star O.J. Simpson, and her friend Ron Goldman were found brutally stabbed outside her home in Brentwood, Los Angeles. The case quickly gained national attention due to O.J. Simpson's celebrity status and the sensational nature of the crime. Simpson became the prime suspect, and his arrest was preceded by a widely televised low-speed car chase. Despite extensive evidence presented during the trial, including blood samples and a matching glove found at the scene, Simpson was acquitted of the murders on October 3, 1995, after a highly publicized trial that lasted over 8 months. The defense argued that evidence had been mishandled and that Simpson was framed by racist police officers. Simpson was later found liable for the wrongful deaths of Brown and Goldman in a civil trial in 1997, resulting in a $33.5 million judgment against him. The case remains unsolved, and the identity of the real killer has never been confirmed. Thank you for making it this far. Please like and subscribe. Number 4. Bob Crane, 1978. Bob Crane, the star of the popular 1960s sitcom, Hogan's Heroes, was found brutally murdered in his Scottsdale, Arizona, apartment on June 29, 1978. His death was marked by severe head injuries inflicted with a blunt object and an electrical cord wrapped around his neck. The crime scene was mishandled, with critical evidence potentially compromised, complicating the investigation. Crane's friend, John Henry Carpenter, became the prime suspect due to their close relationship and a reported argument the night before the murder. Blood matching Crane's type was found in Carpenter's rental car, but DNA testing at the time was inconclusive. Carpenter was tried in 1994 but was acquitted due to insufficient evidence. Despite advances in forensic science and renewed interest in the case, the murder remains unsolved. Crane's lifestyle, involving videotaping sexual encounters, added a layer of complexity and intrigue to the case, which continues to captivate the public and true crime enthusiasts. Number 5. West Mesa Bone Collector, 2009. The West Mesa murders refer to the discovery of the remains of 11 women and an unborn fetus in 2009 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. These women, who disappeared between 2001 and 2005, were mostly Hispanic and involved in drugs and sex work. The site where they were found was an undeveloped area on the West Mesa, which was later disturbed by residential development. The case has been linked to a potential serial killer, dubbed the West Mesa Bone Collector, but no official suspects have been named. Two men, Lorenzo Montoya and Joseph Blee, have been considered persons of interest. Montoya, who lived near the burial site and had a history of violence against sex workers, was killed in 2006, and the murders seemed to stop after his death. Blee, a convicted serial rapist, was also investigated but denied involvement. Despite extensive investigations, the identity of the killer remains unknown, and the case is still open, with a $100,000 reward offered for information leading to an arrest. Number 6 Long Island Serial Killer, 2010 present. The Long Island serial killer, also known as the Gilgo Beach Killer, is believed to have murdered over 10 individuals, primarily sex workers, whose remains were discovered along Long Island's Ocean Parkway between 1996 and 2011. The case gained significant attention in 2010 when the bodies of 4 women, known as the Gilgo 4, were found during a search for Shanann Gilbert, an escort who had disappeared earlier that year. Over time, additional remains were discovered, totaling 11 victims, including a female toddler and an unidentified Asian male. The case remained unsolved for over a decade. In 2022, a task force was formed, leading to the arrest of Rex Heuermann, a Manhattan architect, in 2023. Heuermann was charged with several murders after DNA evidence linked him to the crime scenes. Authorities used cell phone records, burner phones, and DNA from discarded items to build the case against him. Despite the arrest, the investigation continues as authorities gather more evidence to conclusively link Heuermann to the murders. The case remains a chilling example of unresolved serial killings, with ongoing efforts to bring justice to the victims and their families. Number 7 JonBenet Ramsey, 1996. The murder of 6-year-old JonBenet Ramsey on December 26, 1996, in Boulder, Colorado, remains an infamous unsolved case. JonBenet, a child beauty queen, was found strangled and bludgeoned in her home's basement, with a garrote tied around her neck. A lengthy ransom note demanding $118,000 was discovered, leading to initial suspicions of kidnapping. However, investigative missteps, including a compromised crime scene, hampered the case. The Boulder police initially focused on JonBenet's parents, John and Patsy Ramsey, but DNA evidence in 2003 pointed to an unknown male, leading to the family's exoneration in 2008. Despite extensive media coverage and numerous theories, including the potential involvement of an intruder, the case remains open. Recent efforts have involved advanced DNA testing and a cold case review team, but the identity of JonBenet's killer has yet to be determined. The case continues to captivate public interest, with ongoing investigations and appeals for new information. Number 8 The murder of Jill Dando, 1999. Jill Dando, a prominent British television presenter, was murdered on April 26, 1999, outside her home in Fulham, London. She was shot once in the head in broad daylight, a crime that shocked the nation and led to one of the largest murder investigations in British history. Despite extensive efforts, the case remains unsolved. Initially, Barry George, a local man with a history of mental health issues, was convicted of the murder in 2001, but his conviction was overturned in 2008 due to a lack of evidence. Over the years, various theories have emerged, including the possibility of a professional hit linked to her work on the BBC's Crime Watch, or a Serbian hitman, but none have been conclusively proven. The case has been the subject of books, documentaries, and renewed calls for investigation, with a recent Netflix series exploring the mystery. In conclusion, it's clear that the passage of time has done little to diminish the intrigue and speculation surrounding them. Each case remains a puzzle, with clues and theories that keep us questioning what really happened. While justice may never be served for the victims, their stories continue to captivate and remind us of the enduring mysteries that still linger in the shadows. Thank you. Please like and subscribe.